Today is January 29th, 2025, and I'll be showing you how to install a F96-CE4 PuppyLInux into a UEFI PC. So right now I've logged into, I've started my BIOS in my Lenovo desktop, and you can see that there is it works with a mouse. So I'll just use my mouse, and we'll go to a secure startup tab, and you can see that it is UEFI only, and this is very important that you do not try this what I'm about to show you in a legacy BIOS. So that's the first thing you need to make sure that before we follow this. So we're gonna get F10 and then save and exit. And then I'll be booting into a ventoy USB. Now I've inserted my ventoy USB drive. So here is a USB drive with a PuppyLInux ISO, and what I have several ISOs, but we'll be using F96-CE4. Now you can use other ISOs to do this, but since we'll be installing F96-CE4, I'm just going to boot into it through the the ventoy. So at this juncture, we only need the RAM only. We don't need all the other choices. So now we're getting a cursor here. So we're almost there, and I'll just close everything, Alt F4, and then so we're at FOSSAPUP desktop, and you can see that there is a one hard drive, NVMe hard drive, and this is my external hard drive where I have data and Linux ISOs and so on. And this is the ventoy USB stick. So what we'll need to do first is to configure internal hard drive. So we'll go ahead and go to right click and go to system, and then go to gparted, and then this is the internal hard drive that we'll be installing to. So right now it has one large partition that is 120 gig, but because it's going to be UEFI, what we need to do is create partition table with GPT. I know this is lettering is kind of small, but I'll try to verbalize everything. GPT is that the table type that we want. So apply, and then of course it's going to wipe everything out. And then now you have to create several partitions. So I will just go ahead and give 512 megabyte. It doesn't have to be exactly. And then you want this to be FAT12, FAT32, I should say, and I would go ahead and put EFI on it and add. And then secondly, we're gonna put PuppyLInux files in here. But if you're just gonna put in F96-CE4, you don't need much at all. But just in case you wanna later on have other PuppyLInux, we'll just go ahead and give it roughly a let's just make it even. So we'll just give it roughly 8 gig, and then we'll just give it a pups, and this will be enough for 10 PuppyLInux files even. So because of the uniqueness of a PuppyLInux world, you need to create a fairly large save folder where all the save folders can live. So we'll just go ahead and give it a let's say 60 gig. So, and then we'll go ahead and ext4 is fine, and we'll give it a capital S A V. It doesn't have to be exact, but I find for my needs, I like a capital SAV here. And then you can have other, for example, here, you can have some data partition where you can put in the music and photos and documents and so on. And then if you need, if you have a PC that you're working with at less than 4 gig of RAM, you need to create a separate save partition. But I'll just go through that. So we'll just create a data partition here. And then here we'll just create a Linux swap partition. But again, if you have more than 4 gig of RAM, you probably do not need this. So we'll just go ahead and give it an OK and apply. And then it goes pretty quickly. And then here, you want to go to the first partition. And then we want to manage flags. And then ESP. And that would also put a little tick on boot, which is correct. And close. And then that's already done. That's all. Now it's all ready to be ready to receive PuppyLInux file. So next step is go ahead and at this point, I'll just remove the ventoy USB stick. I think it'd be less distracting, so I'll just remove it. So I removed the ventoy USB stick. Everything is running in RAM, so it doesn't interfere with what we're trying to do here. So next, what we want to do is go to Setup and go all the way down to Frugal Pup. Now we want to go to Settings tab here, and we want a separate save location, and use autosave is what I recommend, and OK. And then we want to start putting in PuppyLInux ISOs. So we're gonna we need to have access to ISOs. Right now, in theory, because I am on F96-CE4, I can just use this, but I'll just do it the safest way is just go ahead and open up my external hard drive where I have F96. So the ISOs and so here I have a F96-CE4-4.ISO. That's what I'm gonna prepare. So we're gonna go ahead and go to ISO and OK, and then select the file ISO. So we're just gonna drag CE4 ISO here, and then let go and OK, and then so we need to put it in partition pups. So we're just gonna click, and then we're gonna create a folder. So here I will just go ahead and type it for CE4. I'll just type capital CE, and then make sure you make enter. Now we're doing this because just in case you want to install a bookworm or something else later on in this puppy partition, it makes it well organized this way. So it's CE, and then you want to go OK, and then you want to know where the save partition is going to be. We label the capital SAV. That's where we want it. And within the partition, we want to just go ahead and small letter SAVE, save, and then enter. Make sure you return enter here, and you see this, and OK. So now the puppies knows where to save the folders, where to place the save folders, and it's okay. And he's making copies. So now we need to get grub configured. So you do that by going to boot, and then the right now we know that all the puppy files is in the pups, and then this is correct CE, and then this is where we're gonna put in the grub. So that's the first partition, and then we're only gonna UEFI 64 is fine. Now, in case you wanna later on try PuppyLInux 32-bit, you can go ahead and enter UEFI, but we'll just go ahead and UEFI 64 is fine, and then OK. So now it's written. So we're gonna exit, and then we're gonna take a brief look at the grub. So we're gonna first partition grub, and we're gonna right click on it, go to Genie, and I know the lettering is very small, so let's see if I can just go ahead and zoom in, Control plus, and then go to Documents, Line Wrapping, and then we're just gonna make the a little bit bigger. So now I find the set timeout 10 works well for me. You don't need to change at all, but in theory you can just make it timeout of 1 second if you're just going to have a single CE4 running. But and then I'll just change the menu entry to CE just for my own convenience. And then I don't really need the other reboot and everything else in the boot. So it's just going to be very simple. It's just going to have a CE and just do as a choice. So I'm just going to enter and then close. Now it's pretty much all ready. So we'll just go ahead and leave, reboot, but we don't need to save anything here. All we need to do is just remove the ventoy stick, which I've already done, and then let it boot in from the internal hard drive, that where we put the PuppyLInux in. So just to make sure my machine, though, I can just keep tapping on F12 just to make sure that it does get in, start with a internal hard drive. But I know there's only one that's bootable. So right now, it's a 128 gig internal hard drive. That's where we put the PuppyLInux in. So enter, and then CE is what we are seeing, which is what we expect. So it's looking good so far. So you can see the mouse cursor. Now we want to just do a quick, we'll go through this just to make sure that the save folder is created properly. So we'll just go to page down, America, Los Angeles is fine for me, and time from internet, and then everything else is okay, and okay. So synchronized clock each time, which is what I prefer, and then everything else is fine. And then here, what we want to do is reboot, and then reboot here, and we definitely want to save it. So it's save button, okay, and then let it boot again, and So a little brief warning that is being saved in a correct save partition. So everything is looking proper so far. Now see if it's much easier to see now. And then save folder, save partition, so everything is looking good. After the first time save, it's just warning that it's going to be a little faster next time. So this is pretty much how long it takes to install PuppyLInux in a new hard drive. So it doesn't take that long. That's why I never use what's called a virtual machine. So now we know that save folder is created because automatically it gets mounted. So we're just gonna click on it, and then there is a save folder within it in a save partition, and then click it, and there is the save folder that's created.